Here we go. Okay, well, welcome everyone to our Starfishers StartNow training. Thanks very much for being with me today, and I'm really looking forward to sharing with you. Some of you who will be watching this are new consultants who've just signed up, and my purpose today is to help you to learn everything you need to know to get launched to your very best start. And for those of you who are not new, but are consultants who've been with us for a while, I hope that this will introduce you to all of our current tools that we're using, so that you'll also be super familiar with our system for success. Okay, so first of all, I want to say congratulations, because really, I think that the hardest step when it comes to starting a business like Arbonne is to making that decision and deciding that you're actually going to do this. So I want to say congratulations, because I think you've made a great decision. This business is absolutely the most fun that I've ever had working. My name is Dr. Tanis Gatens, Executive National Vice President and an independent consultant with Arbonne. And my background is that I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist. My Arbonne business retired me from medicine when I went on a maternity leave with my son 9.5 years ago. And I haven't gone back to medicine yet. I continue to work this business full-time and to make an income that is greater than that I had when I was working more than full-time as a child and adolescent psychiatrist. And like I said, I've never had so much fun working. So I'm so excited to welcome you. And really what you are starting with Arbonne is a mini franchise. You are starting a business that can be a global multi-million-dollar business if you want it to be. And last month, in April of this year, our Starfisher Success Line just hit a very cool milestone, which is that, for me, this has been a multi-million-dollar business for a while. For quite a few years, but it was the first time that in 1 month we did over $1 million in sales. And I can tell you this truly can be a global multi-million-dollar business if you want it to be. If you want this to be a hobby, if you want to make a few $100s a month, that's totally fine as well. But if you want it to be that kind of multi-million-dollar business, you need to treat it like one. So again, I want to say welcome to Starfishers. And if you're wondering, are you in the right place and are you in the Starfisher Success Line, I have some photos here just to help you orient yourself. On the left is, these are some of if you're in either National Vice President, soon to be Executive National Vice President Kelly Greening-Thoburn's Success Line, if you're in My Nation, if you're an Executive National Vice President Gultaj Salmani's line, there's Kelly and I at this most recent global training conference in Vegas. Gultaj and I are best friends from medical school in Calgary, and there we are in Maui this year at the MVP leadership meeting with our two Sophias. So if you are on any of our teams, you are in the Starfisher Success Line, and I want to welcome you. What I'm going to share with you is our system for success, and we are very directly connected to incredible success in this business. What the system that I'm going to share with you is based on the sustainable success of Executive National Vice Presidents Cecilia Stoll and Linda Parker. Cecilia Stoll, you can see, I want to give you a little bit of your family tree here, is the #1 income earner in Arbonne. She is my Arbonne grandmother. She is originally from Brazil. And she has become the #1 income earner in this company, despite English not being her first language, and despite not being a native North American or native to any of the countries that Arbonne is currently distributed in. And next to her is my direct MVP mentor and coach, Linda Parker, #8 income earner in Arbonne. Linda is one of very few MVPs in Arbonne who are 6 MVPs wide or more. Cecilia is 11 MVPs wide, which explains her very large paycheck. But even more importantly, they both have been in business for over 20 years. So they've had lucrative businesses for over 20 years. So what I can share with you is how not only to create a lucrative business, but one that will last and one that could be a legacy for your family. So if you want to earn your white Mercedes-Benz in 12 months and to build a lucrative, lasting business like they have, you will want to follow this system. So if you read anything about network marketing, you'll read that one of the keys is to have a simple, duplicatable system. So I'm going to share that with you. And by the time I'm done, if you know nothing, if you remember nothing else, I want you to remember number 1, number 2, and number 3 that I'm going to tell you in a moment. Because this is how you launch, and this is also how you conduct your business, and this is what you do over and over again. But first of all, we'll talk about launching. And just like when a rocket is launching, most of the energy, I think for a rocket, it's like 80% of the fuel is expended in the launch. So much energy to get out of the atmosphere. And then the rocket is in orbit and just requires minor little bursts of energy to tweak so that it's on course. And the same is for you. When you launch your business, your Arbonne business, with enough energy, you will reach your orbit, which is otherwise known as momentum. And then you just need little tweaks of energy. It becomes much more fun. It pays you much better. And that's our goal, to help you reach momentum quickly. So what are those steps? Step number 1 is to schedule. Step number 2 is sponsor. And step number 3 is sales. And then you repeat. Schedule, sponsor, sell. Okay. So I want to talk about the fuel before we get into the 1, 2, 3. Because in Arbonne, I'm not your boss. You don't have a boss. You are in business for yourself, but not by yourself. But if there's any boss, anything that will really is like your boss in Arbonne, it is your why. Your why is your fuel. Every launch requires fuel. And so you need to really know what is your fuel. You have to become super crystal clear about what your why is. So let's talk about that a little bit more. I've just revised our Starfishers Successful Launch Month document. And the second page now has a place for you to write out your 21 reasons why. And so this is what I want you to do before anything else. And even if you're already in business, it's always a great thing to do. If you don't have an active 21 reasons why, print out that sheet and write down your 21 reasons why. Here I've got a few little reminders of different kinds of whys or dreams. The practical reasons why: paying your mortgage, being able to put the kids, pay for kids' school, fuel for your car, fun activities, being able to go out on date night, being able to buy an extra pair of shoes that that you really don't need but you want. Memorable, fun activities, but ones where you're creating memories that will last a lifeline. I know for many people on our team, taking their kids to Disney World is on a lot of people's lists, but it could be, I don't know what that is for you. My daughter just discovered Tivoli Gardens in a book. She's reading a book about the Holocaust set in Denmark, and she was telling me about the Tivoli Gardens amusement park, and she looked that up online, and she said, "Mom, it looks, doesn't that look wonderful?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "Let's go." So I said, "Yeah, we should do that." Now, yesterday she just said to me, we have the long weekend coming up here in the US. I'm originally from Vancouver, but I live outside Philadelphia now in Pennsylvania. So in Canada, you just had your long weekend, the Victoria Day weekend, and the Memorial Day weekend is coming up here in the US. So yesterday she said to me, "Mom, let's go to Tivoli Gardens for the Memorial Day weekend." So I think we need more than like a day there in Denmark. So we're not going to do it now, but that's definitely going on the list. And then also the giving back kind of why. The causes that are close to your heart, the people that you would like to help, the difference that you would like to make in the world. So, and why, sometimes people say, well, why do I need 21 reasons why? When I started my business, that's 11 years ago, February, my why was that I had just had a baby, my third baby after a 14-year gap, and I was supposed to go back to work when she was 12 weeks old. All my family in Canada thought that was horrible, appalling that I was going to go back to work when she was only 12 weeks old. A lot of my US friends thought that 12 weeks wasn't bad because a lot of people go back to work after 6 weeks here. But I wasn't on call anymore. Thought my current job was kind of cushy. Then she was born, and I took one look at her, and I realized I am not going back to work. And when she's 12 weeks old, why have I had a baby at almost 40 years old if I'm going to miss all those milestones, if I can't be present? And that was why I started this business, to be able to be home part-time with my baby and my 2 teenage daughters. And that was a pretty powerful why that fueled me on a lot of days. But you know what? Some days you wake up and that big number one why, I could be like, I don't know, being at home isn't that fun. I think I'm not going to work my business. Maybe it's not so bad to go back to work. Sometimes you need to go down the list to reason number 4 or reason number 12. I'm worried about my dad's health. What if he needs long-term care? I don't think they can afford it. I want to be able to help out when they need it. So this is something you want to keep close to you, that you can refer to on an ongoing basis and use it as your fuel. It also can help to have a visual of your why, your vision. People can call this a vision or a dream board. In the middle here, I have Alexandra Valentini's dream board right off her kitchen. Well, I knew she was serious about building her business when I saw her vision board on her kitchen, where she would see it every day. And I've added in a few other things here. But I love the idea of using a cork board that you can use push pins and add things, and as you achieve them, take off and add other things. But this can be another great way of having your why in front of you to motivate you and really to fuel you every day. You're also going to use your why to create your why story. And we have a Starfishers Creating Your Why Story document. This is something that your upline will work with on you. But here's, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because it's that important in your business. First of all, being clear on it. Again, this is your fuel. It fuels you. But it also helps to attract other people to you when they understand your genuine why and can connect with you. So things to keep in mind: your I or why story is a 2-minute commercial to intrigue people. It could be up to 10 minutes long at your group presentations. And it wets your whistle. It's really important to remember the invitation at the end of your why story. It's also intended to break down any walls that they may have if they're sitting there feeling rather closed to looking at this opportunity. You want to make it relatable, casual, short, simple, just be you. And you want it to connect their minds to their hearts. It has to be compelling. So here's 9 components you can see to your why story. And you just need a couple of sentences for each one. So here it is in more detail. You share your name, a little bit about you, your background, how you were introduced to Arbonne, what you thought, what got you thinking about the business, what were your hesitations and fears. And for many of you who've just decided to do this, you may still be really in the midst of those hesitations and fears. I remember when I started, I was like, I'm not a salesperson. I don't know if I can sell anything. I never thought of myself as entrepreneurial and owning my own business. I had moved here from Canada not long before. I didn't know very many people. I had a newborn and 2 teenagers and a husband who had 3 hours commute a day and was playing on 2 hockey teams. And so I didn't have a lot of time. So those were some of my hesitations. My turning point, I already shared with you, was when my daughter was born. And your glimpse into the future, the success you have seen, or the success of your upline. When I started my business, I would share Linda Parker's success. I would share that my upline earned the first Arbonne white Mercedes-Benz in Pennsylvania, and I'm going to be following right in her footsteps and doing the same thing. And then that invitation to look at the Arbonne business opportunity. I'm looking for people to teach and train to do what I do. I'm looking for people to join my team. I'm looking for other people that want to come right to the top with me. If you're interested, if you're intrigued, I've got some information to give, and I'd love to have coffee or a telephone call with you. Okay, so now it's time to leap out of your comfort zone, because for most people, talking about your why, and thinking about our dreams, that's not too far outside our comfort zone, although for some of us as adults, that has really been stifled. So you may already feel like I pushed you outside your comfort zone to get you thinking about your why and your dreams and your vision and the life that you want to create for yourself and your family and your community. But either way, starting to get into activity is you could dip a toe in And you could say, well, I'm going to see how this goes for 6 months, or maybe I'll do a little bit of what you said. But what I really want to encourage you is I want to encourage you just to take a leap of faith out of your comfort zone. There's definitely going to be stuff that you are not comfortable doing. Instead of, experiencing that as really negative, try to think of that as, this is a really good sign that I am learning, I'm growing, I'm developing new skills, I'm developing a new life for myself. Take that leap out, do the full system, do it for 90 days, and then see where that gets you when you're really doing the system. Let's talk more about what that is. So number one, schedule. Scheduling is so important. You want to schedule your 3 to 4 launch parties as soon as possible. So get those dates with your upline and get them planned. And also don't have them too far away from now if they're not already on the calendar. One of the things I've really found is that those hesitations and fears get compounded when you're not in activity yet. The best antidote to fear is activity. So the sooner that you can launch, the better. And really the less you'll find that your fears will fade as you're actually in activity. Your launches are the grand opening of your Arbonne online store. So you want to invite people to attend them, but you really want to let everyone know about them. Just like if you were opening a new florist shop, a retail store of some kind, a restaurant, you want everyone to know. If you're opening an Italian restaurant, if they're thinking Italian, come to Joe Sutera's Italian restaurant. So use the successful launch month sheet, which I'm going to share with you. You want to also at the same time be scheduling your group presentations that are hosted by others. And you can save yourself time and phone calls by asking others to host for you. And if they're not ready to do that yet, invite them to one of your 4 launch dates that you're having. And then that way you'll be doing both, scheduling ones that are hosted by others and scheduling and inviting to your own launch presentations. Use our Starfishers scheduling verbiage sheet to invite, to ask, and to invite others to come to your own and to host their own. There's tried and true verbiage there. Just print that off, look it over, practice it, and make it your own. And then next, you're going to get out your calendar and mark what blocks. This is the other part of scheduling. Mark what blocks of time you will be working your Arbonne business. You might have to make space for Arbonne office hours. So you may have to cut something out to make time. Most people that are starting this business don't have big, huge chunks of time. I know when I started my business, I cut out TV for 2 years. That was before the days of Facebook. But for a lot of people, maybe you need to limit your Facebook time to half an hour a day. I'm not sure what it is, but you may have to cut something out. But also, then know when you're working, because that's easier for you and it's easier for your family. And, I've got that little image there of the clock with wings, because time really is our most precious resource. And when you're going to be using it to build a business, you want to use it in the wisest way. So your successful launch month, this is what the first page of that document looks like. And it's got spots for your 4 launch parties. You'll see the first one your sponsor is doing, the 4th one you are doing, and the ones in between is a transition. And, sometimes we'll have people that by the second one, they're like, I can do that. You're using a script. I've already, maybe I attended one as a guest. I've seen one. I want to start doing it. And your sponsor will be happy to let you do that. Maybe you're ready by the 3rd, but by the 4th, you are going to be doing that presentation, because we're getting you ready to become an independent consultant and to do solo presentations. But you'll be there with someone, either your sponsor will either be in person or they may be on like Zoom, like we are now. Zoom or Skype may be there to back you up. And then you can see the spots for your 6 additional shows or group presentations, which are hosted by other people and not in your own home. As you are getting those scheduled with a date, mark those down. And as far as how many you want in a month, this is our system for success. We have a saying, 6 for success, 8 to be great, 10 to win, 12 to excel. So this is for group presentations. To be successful, aim for that benchmark of 6 group presentations per month. I've tried in my business to aim for 8. 8 to be great. That's 2 a week, or it could be 4 in 1 week and 2 in another week and 1 in each of the following 2 weeks. It doesn't matter where those 8 dates are. I had someone to say to me the other day, "Wow, how much?" They asked, "How much would you do this?" And I said, "Well, 8 presentations a week." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, And I put it into perspective. I'm like, 8 presentations a week, if those were all evenings, and the month had 30 days, those are 22 evenings that I'm home and only 8 that I'm out. And what I can tell you is that I appreciate and love being at home with my kids on those 22 other nights even more when I am out for 8. And they know, because this is a family business, that I am out doing this for them and for us. Okay, scheduling. I talked about getting your calendar out. We do have a Starfishers calendar for every month. Here's June coming up. The calls and nation meetings are on there. So make sure you've got those, that you know when those events are. And then get a green marker out and start circling when you're available to have your presentations. If you've got little chunks of time, those maybe where you've got a half hour to do business, we call them biz chats. Business chats by phone or by coffee. If you've got a 2-hour chunk of time to do your launch presentations and group presentations, and start to get your family calendar out, your work calendar, and really mark off when those spots are that you're trying to fill. You need to find, if you want to earn your white Mercedes-Benz in 12 months, you're going to want to find 10 hours per week minimum to work your Arbonne business. And by working your business, I'm talking about the time that you spend scheduling and being in front of people. The time that you spend working on your Facebook page or creating a new flyer, which I recommend that you don't do, or thinking about your business but not quite getting to it, doesn't count as your 10 hours. Okay, but 10 hours a week, you can build a business to earn a white Mercedes-Benz in a year. It's worth finding those 10 hours. So let's move on to step number 2. Step number 2 is sponsoring. And by sponsoring, we're talking about, first of all, about sponsoring other consultants on your team. And then the other type of sponsoring is sponsoring preferred clients, which also creates residual income for you. You hook them up with a 20% discount and a password, and they will go to your website, log into their account, order online whenever they want, and you'll make that 15% that will come back to you in your check. So that initial bit of work, and then you continue to make residual income from their purchases. But I want to start off talking about building your team. So I want you now to write out your 5-person dream team list. And this is also on our successful launch month document down below the 21 reasons why, a place for your dream team list. You could, if this speaks to you more, you could call it your boardroom table list. And think about if you could just have 5 people around your boardroom table of your Arbonne business that are you're going to go to the top together. Who would those people be? Really, who are the people you know that you would just love to work with? People who are successful. And when I got really clear about the kind of people that I was looking for, made my dream team list and started sharing with people what I'm looking for, I will tell you that my business just began to explode. When I started telling people, I'm looking for people who have a great work ethic, who are but also who are nice, who are friendly, who are fun, who are smart. That's the kind of people that I want to join me in this business. And when I got really clear on that, I began finding those people. So everyone, whatever level you're at, whether you're just launching your business now or whether you're 5 years into your business, you still should have an ongoing dream team list. And I want you to write in those 5 names right now. Who are the 5 people that you want to join your team? And then you're going to talk to your upline about how to connect with those people. Set up biz chats individually. Those take a half an hour. That's either a coffee or it can be done as a 3-way call with your upline, or probably both. You can do a dream team presentation. That could be in person for your local people. We often do a champagne and cupcakes, or it can be done by Zoom or Skype for your people wherever they are. They could be in the UK, Australia, the other side of the continent. And really talk with your upline about how you are going to get in front of all of those people. Talk to all 5 of those people within the next week to schedule a next step for them. And once you're doing that, don't worry, because we have a script for everything we do. I talked about a simple duplicatable system, and there is a script for that half-hour business chat that you're going to be doing. Okay, step 3, the third thing we do is sales. And I told you that when I started, this was the one that really scared me, because I thought, I've never sold anything. I've just been in a position. I've never worked in a retail store. I've never even sold food in a restaurant. How will I do sales? But my sponsor explained to me that it was really a matter of sharing these products that I love And my family had been using them for a year, and we loved them. And even had paid full retail initially because I didn't want to get roped into anything. But the problem was that everything worked. And my family would be coming to me, I need more shave gel. I need more of the acne line, Mom. I need more sea salt scrub. I would be running out of the anti-aging line. And we would order again. And eventually I did get that discount that I referred to. So it's sharing those products with others. But sales really starts with purchasing yourself from your own Arbonne store. So it's the first step is sales to yourself. And that's what we call your demo line order or your business order. And that has two purposes. Number one, you want to become a product of the product. We say that facts tell, but stories sell. So you will learn facts about these products, but what most people most want to know is your stories of how to use the products and how they work and how they've worked for you. And when you're excited about how they work, which you can't help but be excited about these products when you use them because they're so amazing, you will naturally be sharing them. So become a product of the product. When people come into your home, I remember going into a friend of ours' home, and I knew that he and his wife sold Mary Kay. Hadn't been in their home before, but I was looking all around and I couldn't see any sign of Mary Kay products. And I really thought, well, they can't really be serious about the business. When people come into your house, what do they see at your sinks? Do they see, Arbonne, either the Detox Rescue Wash or the Shea Butter Wash at your sinks? Something to let you know that you think these products are good enough that you actually use them in your family home. So, and then you also want products for demo, products to demonstrate, to share with others. And that's what your demo line is. I already talked about. Sales really is sharing and educating, and it's listening for a need. And as a psychiatrist, that was one thing I was good at, was listening, but listening for a need, for what do people need for their health or their wellness or maybe for their finances. That's what we do. So your demo line order, a key thing is here, we're all about time leveraging, but we're also about leveraging any money that you invest in products to the QV of your order towards whatever qualification. Your first qualification is for district manager. So I'm going to share with you what I did. And I want to tell you that people will tend to do what you do. So think carefully about your budget and what you can do, but also think about what you want to duplicate in the team that you're going to be growing. So when I started, I knew that I wanted to be making $5,000 a month, which would have replaced about half of my full-time physician's income at that time, quickly. So I said, what are all the products do I need? I want to jump right into business. So I got my skincare line. I got my nutrition. I got my cosmetic line. In the middle here, you see the sports nutrition line. I would have got it, but we didn't have it then. That was 2,500 QV worth of product. Of course, as a consultant, I did not pay full price for that, but I got 2,500 QV credit for that. And that, I'll talk to you about district manager qualification in a moment, and I'll show you how that can get you a jump start. So it's not mandatory to purchase a demo line. The only thing that's mandatory from Arbonne's point of view, and I need to be clear with you, is the $79 sign up in the US, $95 in Canada to become a consultant and get that free website, get your 35% discount and your ability to sign people up and to make money. But without a demo line, it is going. You should expect that it will take more elbow grease to get to district manager. So next thing is, I want you to write out your 100-person list. There's also a Starfishers document for your 100-person list. Here it is. It's got some great memory joggers here and great tips. Don't prejudge. Don't think about 100 people that you know want to buy Arbonne or 100 people that you know will join you in business. Just 100 people that you know or that know you. And nowadays, all you have to do is go into your cell phone, go into your Facebook friends, and it is really not hard to come up with 100 people. Imagine if you were having a wedding now and you were trying to limit the guest list to 100 people. A lot of people find that really hard to cut back to 100. People get left out. You have to think about whose feelings you're going to hurt. So you definitely know more than 100 people. After you've done that, I want you to star your list. Put 1 star beside people that are into health and wellness. Put 1 star beside people who are friendly people, who are the friendly people. 1 star beside people who are entrepreneurial. 1 star beside people who are highly successful in any kind of endeavor. Now, and a star beside those who have some disposable income. And I also want you to think about this 100-person list. Everyone starts in the maybe column. Your job over the first 30 to 60 days of your business is to move everyone out of the maybe column into a yes or a no for each one. Okay, so how do we do that? How do you get a yes or no from each person on that list? By asking. And 3 asks per day is our secret formula. You want to be asking 3 new people a day for one of these things. Ask them for an order. And if we're talking about the 3 things we do, that is sales, and that's probably sponsoring them to become a preferred client. Ask them to host, that's scheduling. Ask them for a biz chat, that's scheduling, and that could be sponsoring as well. So those are 3 different things you could ask. You could also ask them to try a sample. That's a great thing to do at this time of the month. When we're recording this, just at the last week of the month. It's a wonderful time to get out a ton of samples so that you can follow up with those people and ask them about sales and sponsoring before the end of the month. So 3 asks per day. I say 6 days per week. You can give yourself 1 day off, but 3 asks per day, 6 days per week. I will really challenge you to do that and not grow a business. So your first goal is to get to become a district manager. This is our first goal from everyone. You can make the commissions, you will make the commissions, the 15% preferred client commission and the 35% commission for your clients right away as soon as you start your business. But district manager is your first promotion and it's your first pay raise. It's when you begin to make an override. In the beginning, your commissions are going to be the biggest part of your paycheck. But it's the overrides are the way that you have can have a highly lucrative time leveraging business. And you really want those. You want that pay raise. So we teach you to become a district manager in your first 1 or 2 months. The numbers you need to know about, and you don't need to worry. I just want you to have a picture of it. But your upline is going to be going over these numbers with you. So if you're not a number person, don't panic. I certainly am not a number person, and I didn't even know these numbers until after I was already a district manager and in qualification for area manager. But it's 6,000 QV in your first 1 or 2 months, or 7,500 QV over 3 months. So let's talk about what I meant by leveraging your demo line. I told you that I got 2,500 QV worth of product when I started my business. And it was 6,000, and it is 6,000 QV to become a district manager. So here's 6,000, and I have now done 2,500. So there's 3,500 left to do through activity, also through other people joining me, other consultants joining me on my team. And so that's what I mean by getting a jump start on your business, not to mention the fact that these are your tools. And I was just remembering today that we did have once a consultant who didn't purchase any demo line in her first month, and she did get to 6,000 QV solely through activity and then purchased her demo line after that. So I don't want to tell you can't do this through sheer activity and elbow grease. I just want to tell you that it is a bit easier if you have products to do business with and if you can leverage those towards your qualification. And so the next thing then is to so you've got whatever kind of demo line. The other thing I want to mention is you want to stretch a little bit. So for me, what that 2,500 QV meant was, it wasn't $2,500, but it was probably about $1,600 that I spent. I had never started a business before, and I also didn't understand the difference between personal debt. So when I go out to Bloomingdale's and buy $800 worth of clothing that's on my credit card versus capital debt. And this is something Cecilia Stoll talks about. The capital debt is very different. Entrepreneurs know that when you start a business, let's say I was going to start a McDonald's franchise. I think it's about $500,000, the franchise fee. So I would have to go to the bank and get a capital loan to get that franchise fee. And I'm also going to, I'm going to have to buy startup supplies. There's a lot of things that I'm going to have to buy to get started. Nobody thinks that I'm being a fool to go get that loan, that capital loan to start a business, right? So this is the same kind of thing. That demo line is also a tax deduction because that's an investment in your business. So remember that, but still, despite that fact, it scared me. But you know what? Being scared was good because I put it on a credit card. I got a 0% credit card afterwards, transferred that. And I told myself that I was going to make that back before I ever had to pay interest on it. And that got me moving. So maybe for you, 2,500 QV, maybe for you, 500 QV, 1,000 QV, We can put together a pretty good line for 1,000 or 1,500 QV as well. Maybe that's what will be the stretch for you, so you have some skin in the game, as Linda Parker would say. You want some skin in the game, because otherwise, I'll tell you this, like I said, this is the most fun I've ever had working, but I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say that there can be tough days, and it could be easy to quit. When you've got some skin in the game, you're going to keep going. So we've got our demo line, we've leveraged that. Next thing is to get into activity. I don't want you to, some of you are going to feel like you need to learn everything, read everything, watch everything before you can ever start doing a presentation. But this really is on-the-job learning and getting paid while you learn. Our second goal for you is first step area manager. And I want to paint this awesome goal for you, that this is possible in your first month. You could be an area manager by the end of your second month and get an additional 6% pay raise, which adds up to 14%, 8 plus 6%, 14% pay raise. That is something I did in my first month. I completed district manager that first month and got into qualification for area manager. Didn't even know what that was. But, how did I do that? Well, I got my demo line. I had my launch parties. My friend, who was supposed to research the business and talk me out of it, thought that it was such an amazing business opportunity that she decided to join me, and she launched 1 week after me, 2 days before the end of February. She got her demo line and did those 2 launch parties. She completed district manager, and I completed district manager and got into qualification for area manager. A more common scenario would be you plus 3 people. And here I've got a picture of Linda Parker with 3 of our Starfishers. So it's 10,000 QV to get into qualification for area manager. Our building block is 2,500. If you have you doing 2,500 and 3 other people, just a small team, that's 10,000. And so that could be very possible. When you break any number, and when you break that amount down into chunks, chunk it out, and your upline can help you do that. It's achievable. So not everyone listening to this will want to do that. Some of you will say, I don't want to be an area manager yet. District manager is fine. And that's fine if that's not your goal. Our goal is to help you with whatever your goal is. But there's some of you who want a high bar. They're going to say, if it's possible to get into qualification for area this first month, I want to do it. Show me how. So I want you to know that it is possible. And this is how, and your upline can tell you more. Okay. Another number to be aware of, if you want to get into your Arbonne, paid for by Arbonne, White Mercedes-Benz, in the next 12 months, is 40 faces. And we have this 40 faces document. And this is to keep track of how many new people you're sharing Arbonne with every month. Like I said, sometimes we feel like we're doing Arbonne all the time, but what we're really doing is thinking about it. When it actually comes to time to make a phone call or get in front of somebody, all of a sudden that laundry is calling to us, or maybe we need to reorganize our linen closet, things that you never thought would be things you'd love doing can become very compelling when you're trying to avoid picking up a phone. And I share that as somebody who, when I started my business, I did not like making phone calls, and that is still something I might have to gear myself up towards. But what I want you to look at is 40 faces. Now, the group presentations that I talked about, that is part of our system. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's divided into 5 into these 8 chunks of 5, which makes 40. And so 8 group presentations of 5 people would be an easy way to get to 40 people. It doesn't matter how you get in front of these people, though. Some of these could be one-on-ones. They could be biz chats. They could be group presentations. They could be someone you reached out to through Facebook and then set up a phone call. Phone calls count as face-to-face contact if you're sharing Arbonne with them. But what you want to do is keep track of those names and dates so you really can know how many people you're getting in front of. And if you feel like things aren't going the way you want it to, you maybe discovered you only got in front of 5 people in a whole month. And that's not the pace. If that's what you want, that's fine. If you want to promote to the vice president level and really be growing a lucrative business, you're going to want to aim for your 40 faces. So keep that in mind as well. Now, once you've done this, when you've done your why, so you're really crystal clear on your fuel, you worked on your why story, you have scheduled your launches, you have scheduled your host parties that are hosted, group presentations hosted by others. So you've got between 6 to 12 in a month. You have, so you've done your scheduling, then you've done your sponsoring, you've written out your dream team list, You've gotten in touch with those people and either done biz chats or group presentation with them. You have purchased, you've done your sales, starting off with your own demo line and then doing your presentations and making sales. And I'm not going to talk about the presentations now because that's a whole nother topic. And we have great scripts and tools for you to use to really follow a simple, duplicatable system. But when you've done all those things, put that kind of energy into your launch, momentum will be yours, just like the satellite that's orbiting the Earth. You will be in orbit, and you will be booking activities out of activities. You'll be meeting people through meeting people. You'll have a crystal clear vision of where you're going, and people will want to join you. Not everyone will want to join you, but people will be joining you, and your paycheck will be growing. You will either be a district manager or in qualification for district, or possibly have completed district and even already be in qualification for area manager. Well on your way. And that's what we want for you, that successful launch. For anyone who's been in business for a while, I want you to know that you can have this, you can also use this system for a successful relaunch. You can do this at any time. Another important thing when you're launching is to be coachable. So again, simple and duplicatable. Keep those words in mind. Don't reinvent the wheel. You will be putting time into, you may be putting time into things that are really not productive. Put your precious commodity of time into this simple system that works. We have a saying that the best copycat wins. So in Arbonne, you don't worry that you're copying all the flyers. You're using the presentation that we used. You're using a recorded Discover Arbonne that someone else did. You know what? The best copycat wins. And I'll tell you that I would think that the reason for my success in Arbonne, 5.5 months to become a regional vice president and earn my white Mercedes-Benz, 16 months to become a national vice president. And at that point, my Arbonne income, my part-time Arbonne income equaled my full-time psychiatry income at that point, 16 months into my business. And it has only grown since then. I will tell you, I think the two most important keys to my success have been being coachable, just following the system. What do I do now? Now tell me what to do next. What do I do next? And then going off and doing it. And the other thing was not giving myself the option to quit. I, really just by staying over time is part of the success. That's the route to $1 million+ in sales for this success line in 1 month. You can add your unique talents and personality to your business, but we really can't guarantee your success unless you're duplicating the system. Maybe what you want to do will be successful, but I really cannot say, and I cannot teach and train you how to do it. And I don't know if you have a simple, duplicatable way to teach and train others. So I really encourage you to stick with the system that we have that comes to us from Cecilia and Linda. I also, another important principle is staying connected. A lot of the time we're working from home. We are not out and in an office place where we're connecting with others and forming friendships and things. So staying connected is so important in your business. If you read Eric Worre, he talks about that. We have a saying, hot coals stay hot together. So, if you want to be motivated and inspired, stick with around other people who are motivated and inspired. So how can you stay connected? Number one, just be connected with your upline. Text them, call them. You're going to have tons of questions. Don't be afraid to ask. We want to hear from you. Mark down your monthly meetings wherever your area is. And if there isn't anything in your area, you join into one of our team meetings by Skype or Zoom or FaceTime. In Canada, there's the Canadian National Training Conference, CNTC, in Niagara. It's in September every year. This year it's going to be in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Our global training conference is in Las Vegas in the middle of April. Find out those dates, get them on your calendar, because those are amazing times to stay connected and be inspired. Make a note of our training calls, the Zoom calls. We have 2 Starfishers Facebook groups, one for those of you who are directly in my nation, Starfishers Nation, and for everybody else, we have Starfishers Success Line. We also have our team website, toolsfromthetop.ca, where all these tools are available as well. And another way to stay connected. There's recorded calls and videos that you can watch, and we'll walk you right through this process of getting launched. Well, I hope at this point that how you're feeling is that you've moved from maybe feeling a bit fearful and hesitant to feeling hopeful. Because I feel like one of the things we do is we bring hope to people that their life can be different. And for me, when I was working full-time as a physician, I really didn't even take time to think about whether I was happy. But really, I was rushed all the time. I was kind of grumpy and irritable. I didn't have enough time to spend with the people that I loved. But I really didn't think there was anything else I could do. And I didn't have time to think about what it could be. And once I really grasped what Arbonne is, it gave me, as much as I wanted to be a physician, I had always had a dream of being able to be home with my kids, and I never thought that was possible for me. Arbonne gave me the hope that that could be possible. And I went from being the mystery mom, who none of the other moms in my kids' school even thought existed, because I couldn't drop my kids off to school, I couldn't pick them up, I couldn't volunteer in the class, I couldn't go on any field trips. I went from that to being able to volunteer at my kids' school, to be the mystery reader in my daughter's class, to I go on every field trip. The teachers know they can count on me. I'm always available to go in. So my life is completely transformed. And for you, what you want to transform in your life and your family's life may be totally different. But I want to tell you that Arbonne can be that vehicle for you if you grab a hold of this opportunity and really work the system. Put a lot of energy into your launch. It's worth it to get that momentum. This is the path less traveled. And I'm excited that you've chosen it, because it can be challenging to be traveling a path that's a little bit different from the majority of people you know. But the rewards are incredible. There are incredible rewards for those who are willing to do what others are not willing to do. And the journey is amazing. The journey in terms of the people you will meet, the experiences you will have, the you that you will become on this journey. As you grow your business, you will grow yourself. I can tell you that I never knew at all, starting this business, that I was going to become a better person, a better friend, a better mom, better in every area of my life than I had been. I had no clue. And, only you know what waits you, the life that you want to create that's at the end of this kind of shimmering road. EMVP Michelle Brisson in Canada has a saying that just a kind of a caution that along the road there are going to be parking lots that will be tempting to park in. And I want to caution you not to park, but to keep going, keep traveling, because the rewards really are great. And I want to finish up with this. So much of our business, our demo products are very important tools, our schedule, our system of scheduling, sponsoring, and selling. But what it really comes down to also is our attitude, our positive attitude, our belief, knowing that you can, and our commitment to consistent activity to build this business. So you need to know inside yourself, I can, I will, end of story. And this also is a way that you can write your own story, your own life story. The pen is in your hands, and this Arbonne vehicle is there for you. I'm so excited to meet you at some point in the future, if I haven't yet, and to learn about the story that you've been able to write for yourself. So thank you so much for joining me this evening, or whenever you're watching this recording. And I will invite you to go to your upline, whether direct sponsor or further up, to jump right in and get any of these things that you haven't done yet that we talked about today. Get going on them. They'll get you connected. They'll get you on the Facebook page. They'll get you trained on tools from the top. We'll get those launch dates scheduled with you. Get all the paperwork into your hands that you need to do this, and just do it. Okay. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.